Deeper look at how an upcoming EU referendum is impacting Britain's business community. CCTV News spoke to Jacob Kirkgard, Senior Fellow at the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Take a listen.
Well, because fundamentally, businesses do not like, and particularly banks, do not like uncertainty. And we now have a situation that no one really knows what the alternative is. If Britain leaves, no one knows what's going to happen. And that situation is actually quite deliberately created, because David Cameron and the other European countries, they don't want there to be a plan B, you know, that you can just sort of pick out from the drawer and then there it is. They want uncertainty because they know that if a few weeks before the actual poll, votes are being cast, that there is uncertainty about what the result will be, financial markets will respond, and they will almost certainly respond very negatively. There are those typically small and medium-sized firms in the UK that perhaps are competing with, you know, imports from France and elsewhere, and they, you know, you might say that they had a benefit. I personally believe that that benefit will be small, and for the economy as a whole, it will pale compared to the negative side. But no, I mean, there are winners even from this bad outcome. I think that that risk is certainly there for businesses being sort of a more fragmented marketplace and the sort of end of the European internal market. But I think when we think that scenario through, that risk is actually much more a broader political risk than it is a financial risk, because what we're talking about here is fundamentally the unraveling of the European Union, which, when we recall that the European Union was put in place to avoid a lot of nasty things in the early 20th century, you know, the political risk of this process are far, far worse than the economic ones. But from the perspective of businesses, they of course worry about market fragmentation.